Rizzy rise. Ha. Rizzy. Came from the bottom like I rose from the grave. I've been stuck in my thoughts, stuck in my ways. Stuck up thoughties on my mind, keep getting in the way. And all these snakes always tempting, slithering away.
Today we have the lovely Blaire. Miss Blaire. What do you like to do?
That's fine. Blaire, Miss Blaire, don't work.
Start off, how you feeling today?
I've had a trying day, but I feel good. Overall, I feel grateful.
Anything to highlight today? What was the highlight?
Ooh, the highlight of my day today might have been, I feel like sometimes I'm able to just like stabilize myself in the middle of chaos, like when there's a lot going on. So I think like right now I'm just grateful for my ability to think clearly, even despite a bunch of stuff going on. I'm grateful for that.
I'm the same way, like, we having so much going on, racing your mind, but it was like a calm, productive day. Gotta tackle all the obstacles.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to late today. I apologize.
But tell us something unique about Blaire. What do you want the viewers to know about you?
Well, I'll just tell you some stuff about me. My name is Blaire. I'm a Pittsburgh native. Moved away for a long time. When I turned 18, I moved away. And then within the last 2 or 3 years, I came back to Pittsburgh. And since I've been here, I started fitness training. And I feel like I really tapped back into my calling of song and dance. And that's been an experience for me. That's been like a heart warming and heart filling experience, just being able to just express myself through song and through fitness. I really love building my community through fitness, and I really love like reconnecting with myself through song. So that's something I can say that's like unique about me. I feel like I'm always kind of marrying those two things, but those are like the two core pieces of my existence right now. Like, I've been training consistently for a year and some change now, but I've been consistent in my health and wellness journey now for about 5.5 years. So yeah, there was a point in time where I was training at like a boxing, kickboxing gym, strength and conditioning, and then I moved to New York for a year. I quit everything. I quit my job. I moved, and I had to train myself for a year. And in that time period, I realized I was overtraining myself, but you live and you learn.
Right.
I was just so fearful that I would fall back out of shape that I just went so hard for like a year. But then I was like, you know what, reel it back in. And then I got a trainer when I got here. I started training with OJ Macklin Fitness. Shout out to Club Elevation and OJ Macklin Fitness. So I train with him now. I train underneath him, and I also train other people. A different style of training, of course, but yeah. That's my fitness community.
Nice. So you said you moved to New York. Like, what made you like do that? Like was like you said, the big step? You're like, all right, forget all this. Like, what made you just go forward and just quit everything just to go to New York? Like, what was the motivation behind that?
Funny enough, I'm experiencing those same exact feelings like within the last couple of days. So I feel like once I get to a point where I'm in a work environment, and I get to the point where I don't want to describe it as I don't care, but when I get to a point where I'm not necessarily fulfilling my job duties because I don't feel like I should be there anymore. It's like I'm getting distracted. I'm thinking about something, doing like a project, or I'm thinking about that so much that I'm to the point where I'm damaging the dynamics of the team. Like, I'm not even being a good team player now because you asked me to get something done by Wednesday, but all Monday and Tuesday my mind is completely somewhere else. And so I'm just like, I have to come to the conclusion of like, yeah, I'm staying around here and I'm getting a check, but I'm also dragging the rest of the team down because my mind is not here no more. And once I feel like I'm becoming a more of a burden than an asset, I decide like, yo, it might be time for me to skedaddle.
Now that's how it be. Like if you're not passionate about what you do, but then that job feel, because there's many a times where I worked at like Papa John's or McDonald's or something like that, and it's like I don't want to be here. Like I want to get the check, of course, and just get my bread and get out of here. But at the same time, like I need something that I'm passionate about or something. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with doing this, so I can do my other things on the side and not conflict with that. So like I understand where you're at. Did you try like with the field you're working in? Did you try to like navigate it or try to do something similar to what you want to do, or work at a job that's similar to what you want to do, end goal?
The first time, or like now that I'm experiencing this, or the time I was just telling you about?
Just in general, what would you say?
For the first time, when I first quit my job and moved to New York, no. The first time I quit my job, I was like, you know what? I'll just go and I'll do photography. I'll go and I'll do photography, and that's how I'll make my bread and butter. And I learned during that experience, if I failed, I went completely broke.
That's how it starts, though.
Yeah, I failed. I went completely broke. I was broke, like to the point where I was like, my mom was living in New York at the time, so I had the opportunity to stay with her. But like, I was just like, I wasn't figuring it out quick enough. And so I was like, there was times where I was like, I could make a couple extra dollars because I was drinking so much water at the time. I'm like, I'll recycle the water bottles and get like money. And like, I was really like to that point, like, so.
You should make a GoFundMe.
No, I didn't make a GoFundMe, but I was just like, you just start getting real, like, thinking things through, like, how could I make a couple extra dollars? But I just wasn't as financial savvy. So before I had quit, like, just to give you a little bit of background story, before I had quit, I saved up $20,000. I saved up $20,000. I used $10,000 to take my mom and my dad out of the country. I always wanted to take my parents out of the country.
Right, do something for the fam.
And I knew that this next phase of my life, the money wasn't going to be flowing in, because at the job I was at the time, I was fresh out of grad school and I had got a nice program coordinator position. So I wasn't like on the struggle bus. I wasn't. Like I had money left over. But because and it's so funny because I love that job. My situation now is a little bit different, but that job in particular, I loved the job. I loved the people at the job. I loved my clients, all my constituents. I love them, but that's where I was like, oh, I'm about to become a burden to them. And I love them too much to like become a burden. Like, it's a company called FAPAC, the Foster and Adoptive Parent Advocacy Center. So that's where I was at. So I worked with foster families. I worked with birth families. My team, that was the best work experience that was the first and last probably like best work team I probably ever had. And that's why I was starting to feel convicted, like, my mind is not here. Like I felt when my mind was kind of drifting, like, hey, you're not even responding to emails right now, like you're somewhere else. Yeah, so the reason why it was time for me, what helped me kind of conclude there is I had such a high respect for, and shout out to Miss Margie, shout out to Miss Marilyn, shout out to Miss Tony, Miss Donna, Bobby, my dear friend who passed away, he also was a member there, and everybody who was involved in the FAPAC family at all, Chelsea, all of the child care workers. If you all ever hear this, shout out to you. I love the team. And so in that instance, I just had so much respect for the team that it was like, it's time for me to pack it up. And my mom was already, gone. But this time around, now I work in marketing and communications. And this time around, it's not, not necessarily that. I have so much respect for the team. I just recognize this feeling again well enough. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I just literally, like you said, I don't feel connected to the vision of the organization anymore.
Right, because you have something.
Yeah.
Bigger.
I have something else, and I don't even want to say bigger, but it's just different.
It's your vision.
It's my vision.
You want to make it come to life.
And I feel like I'm so much more clear on where I want to go now. Back then I just was like, all right, I'm going to go out and I'm just going to do photography. And now I'm like, well, I'm going to go out and I have clients. I have fitness clients that I can cater more classes to. I could go out and I could really push herbal teas and remedies, you know, and I could record that again so you don't have to edit it. But I could say like, you know, but this time I can go out and I can create more classes to cater to my fitness community, or I can, you know, quit my job and I can start pushing the teas and herbal teas more. So it's like I have things in place now that generate me a little bit of revenue that I feel like I could really push. Whereas before I was just jumping on in the water with $10,000 after I had, you know, took my parents out the country, and I spent the bulk of that money on a cipher. I had hosted an event an event in Pittsburgh called Give Me Roses Now. So I hosted a nice size, it was like, there was a good amount of people there. I hosted a hip hop cipher for local artists to come and broadcast their talent. So it's like I was trying to do photography in New York, I was hosting an event in Pittsburgh, and before I knew it, my money was dwindling away. I ended up working at a restaurant in New York to get a couple extra dollars together so that I could put out a book, so I could put out a cookbook. So yeah, our life is a roller coaster, clearly.
Right.
But
it's good that you get, like, you're the jack of all trades, or the, what is it, or the female woman, the
Jacqueline.
queen.
Oh yeah,
Jacqueline.
let's say queen.
All
Queen was
trades,
better.
yeah. But it's good that you're a jack of all trades. But yeah, that sounds great that you're like, you know, you have that vision, and that you know like what you want to do with it. What would you say like the end goal, or the dream goal would to be? I know you said you do a little bit of getting herbal teas and doing fitness training, but like if you had to conduct it all into like one thing, what would you say you would do? Like the end goal?
To me, if I could do one, you know, like really like conglomerate everything, and it's like, I feel like I still want to pick two, but if I had to do one thing, it would just be to create. Like I love creating music. I love creating visuals. If I had to pick one, that is what I would pick. I feel like right now it's like I understand in my mind, fitness is like that's like something that I'm passionate about, and I'm able to do business in that realm. Mm-hmm. And to me, like music and creativity is like something that's like a part of me, ingrained in me, and it's like I could probably use help doing business that way. You know what I mean? But in fitness, I'm able to really do business. I understand business more, but for the artistic side, it's more like that's just something I love. I would do it for free all day. You know what I mean? If I could. So.
I'm the same way about like entertainment and music and stuff like that. Like I just, like you said, create. Like I would say like I love being a creator. Just create content or music videos or just music in general. When you write it, like, you just feel alive, like your true self. A lot of people don't really get to know who you are, because like we either keep it inside or we let people show what we want. But like our true internal selves, like we know the vision, we know what path we want to take, and like that vision to create, like that. I think that's what everybody's purpose is, you know, be creators out in this world, and finding something to do. But yeah, that's a good skill set to know how to create and build on your skills. I didn't even know, because I know Blaire, you know, from a couple things, since she's the jack of all trades, from August Wilson Center and the fitness training you do at the Kingsley. I didn't know you did music. Like I kind of peeped it a little bit, but I didn't know you did. So would you sing?
Yeah, I sing, and I actually did some rapping on well, it was my first mixtape, but I did some rapping on it too. I actually like to rap more. It's less fearful for me to rap than it is for me to sing, but there's just less, you know, I feel a little bit more free with it, but I feel like, I don't know, sometimes it's funny how that could go, but I think it's because there was just more, I don't want to use the word trauma, but there was just more fear surrounded around my ability to sing that I had to outgrow, and I had to unlearn, rather. I had to unlearn a lot of that fear of just like allowing people to actually hear me sing, and it's so funny because I was in a musical last night, actually at the August Wilson Center. I was in a Rainey Harris musical. It was called Lifted. It's a gospel musical It's like gospel music and house music. So I auditioned for it, and I got a part to be in the choir. And it's funny how I spent the last couple years building up my confidence just to go out and sing and be confident in that. And last night I had to pull back in on some of that strength. Well, over the last couple of days, I had to pull back in on some of that strength, like, like reassuring myself, like, yo, this is where you're supposed to be, or, it's okay. It's just like, I have a different type of voice. I don't really have no gospel churchy voice for real. It's like a jazzy voice for real. And so being in a choir is like, I had to really practice. I had to really practice. I couldn't just go up there and like, bust it out. Like I wasn't in no church choir. So I felt like, and I don't want to call nobody out or nothing like that, but I feel like, I'll say this. The choir director, his name is Joshua, he was excellent, and he was very patient with me, like, you know what I mean? Like, patient with me, waiting for me to hear the tune, reiterating it, this, that, and the third. But, it's so funny that when you're really in alignment and when you're really doing what you're supposed to do, don't get into the habit of thinking, like, everything is just about to be easy now. The shit it's just as hard,
Right.
It's just as hard. It's like, I had to reassure myself again, like, yo. So now that I got over the hump of just going out and singing in general, now I have to just keep maintaining that reassurance and that confidence, like, yo, you are where you're supposed to be at. And it's like, I felt like there were instances where, I don't know if people were intentionally doing it, but they were almost trying to make me feel like I wasn't supposed to be where I was at. And it's just like, I had to remind myself, like, yo, nobody handed me this shit. Like, I auditioned for this shit, and I practiced, and I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm here, and I had to, like, I even had to reassure myself that I could sing. I'm like, Blaire, you can sing, like.
Yeah, some people just like to bring you down just because, like, they like to control every aspect of the situation. And if they feel like, you're like, I don't know if it's a jealousy thing or if it's just like somebody just like feeling intimidated, but like, it's always that person that's always trying to control the situation or something, which I don't like them dictate. When people bring you down just because they feel like, oh, you're not good enough in my eyes or my standards. Who was it? Somebody I work with was like, yeah, this ain't up to my standards, and I'm like, honestly, I don't give a fuck if it's up to your standards. Like, you ain't paying me. But I feel you on that one. But you said that the play Lifted, was that also did you also do a show Saturday at the Kelly Strayhorn Theater?
No, that was a different. I was supposed to be talking in this whole time, and I was not.
Yeah, I mean, it still picked up your voice, but yeah.
I know. I'm so sorry.
If you want to be a little louder, yeah.
Yeah,
but, I mean, it got a good amount.
Good range. Okay, but I was so focused on the visual, I wasn't. But no, that was a different. Whoever did a play at the Kelly Strayhorn was a Pittsburgh native. I want to say his name is Devontae, but I really didn't read.
I just said that because the guy I know, I go to this Bible study every Monday. This guy I know, Darius, he's one who shot the play at the Kelly Strayhorn on Saturday. I was supposed to go, but I ended up busy that day. But I just wanted to know if he was part of that too. Because you said gospel, because it was another gospel play.
Yeah, that's funny. Somebody had reached out to me about that play, and it just didn't work out, and I was already doing Lifted anyway. See, this sounds so much better. I can actually hear myself.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I was like, but.
I hope you all were able to hear. But, no, I wasn't a part of that one. But I heard nothing but great, like, raving reviews from that one as well. So everybody in Pittsburgh got a little bit of gospel this week.
Right. And speaking of this week, I see that you have a Rose Run 5K walk going on. Want to talk about that?
Yes, the Rose Run is coming up on Sunday, and the devil is busy. No, but yeah, it's my very first 5K. It's a fitness event coming up on Sunday, October 23rd. It'll be at Hazelwood Green Plaza over in Hazelwood. It's a brand new park. It's a brand new, beautiful park. It's all flat. Everybody, any type of walking level, jogging level, whatever the case may be, is invited. And I even decided to do it because one, like I said, I really believe in the power of fitness, and I really feel like the power of fitness has fueled a lot of my creative courage, really. So I feel like healthy body, healthy mind, healthy spirit.
Amen.
And I feel like as a community, sometimes we don't know the value of that. And so I wanted to create a safe space for Black and brown people to come and enjoy a 5K. Because there's so many 5Ks and walks that I see that are just not marketed to Black people. They're just not. And we don't know nothing about them. And then when we do go to the ones where we wasn't invited, it's very, you can kind of feel that you wasn't invited. And so I'm just like, you know what? I can host one. You know, I can host one too and make it a safe space. And because it's my first year and I'm dealing with an audience who's not even used to being targeted for this type of stuff or doesn't see the value in fitness at all, that it's like I'm dealing with the first year, you know, I'm just like, it's almost like a test run.
Right. I mean, when it's your first time, you know, doing anything, like it's kind of like even experience, like you got to be like a little overwhelmed, just, you know, setting it all up and trying to make sure it's perfect and set it up. So like, how far are you with everything going on with the 5K?
Well, I'm 5 days away. And you know, on top of planning for a 5K, planning to train at 2 different gyms during the week, starting working my day job, it's like I'm being forced to prioritize. And I feel like today, God has been trying to force me to prioritize what's most important and to really push me out on faith for about a year. And I really felt the crux of that today. Like, it's like, I like, what is most important? And that is what kind of even made me start thinking like, yo, I really got to quit my day job.
Right.
Like, for real. Because to me, the Rose Run is more important than whatever's going on at my day job. And to me, my clients are more important than what's going on at the day job. Like, I really be thinking about my clients, for real. Like, you know, I really plan my workouts around my clients. Like, I really know y'all's ability, for real.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's not really, it's work, but it's not, you know, it's not, you know, I've really found, I feel like I found my niche with the group training thing. And so it's like, to me, those things are more important than what I have going on at my day job. Not saying that what they got going on is not important. I'm just saying that it's not important for me to be there.
Yeah.
And it's like today, it really, really like, to the point where it's like, when you start feeling like you're damn near procrastinating even to open up your laptop and it throws your whole day off because you don't wanna work and do whatever they got going on.
Right.
When
it's
I'm
just like you feel like it's a distraction to you just because,
yes, that's perfect.
you know, you're just like in that mindset of just like moving forward and working on what you have and you know like what you got going on is like you said, not the most important like overall, but like to you, you know, it means something to you and like you don't get a lot of time. I mean I feel the same way, just, you know, when I had to come to a conclusion of what's more important, sticking with my brand and trying to work with that or working for somebody else and it's taking so much of my time off. I just really had to think like what works for me. Like I knew as a new business owner, I have to make something work because like doing it on your own without any help is kind of hard to do if you don't have the help for it. So I mean, being here like at Phase 4 Learning Center it's been a blessing because I'm able to tap in with the equipment and do, you know, still do my brand and still help the kids. It's like I found that helping with the kids, I found that passion just to do what I love to do and still like can still do me, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
And that it's like I feel like that's something like, you know, I mean everything works for different people, but like I feel like if you try to find something that kind of similar to like fitness training or like a job that's like selling like some type of herbal teas or just like you said, just for focusing main on your business, that'll go a long way. Like even if you make some type of income doing something like light or a couple hours, and you put the main focus on your passion and your goals first before you work with for something else because your brand is just important as what you're working for. And when you put more time into what you love to do, I mean, it's okay to have a side job or something small, but that all that time gotta go into like what you love to do, like daily. Like even when I'm at work, even though I help kids, you know, I make sure they're okay. But you know, I'm on that computer, just making sure I'm getting everything, you know, my business side right, and just sitting down, even in the office space, just doing what I gotta do, take a break from it, work on something, like just kind of like taking breaks and but always going back to what you love to do. Like I would hate to put things on the side that I love to do and then work and then get back to it. Like I like to have that balance of like shifting throughout the day, so I know I accomplished something on my brand side and something on my work side. Just like, yeah, I think that's like one of the most important things, putting your passion before your before, you know, what you have to do, because it's always important to do what you want to do versus what you have to do. I mean, not always, but you know, if you do what you want to do, it makes everything that you have to do so much easier.
I agree with that. That's a perfect way to put it, and people usually don't frame it like that, but it's true. Because you'll do what you want to do before what you have to do anyway. You know how many times people have done things, when you really want to do something, it'll get done, period, no matter what. Exactly. Like I'm even feeling like, Lord, some of the obstacles I feel like I have had to kind of push through in order to get to things like even this the Rose Run 5K walk run, like some of the obstacles, and I feel like this has been ringing in my mind like throughout this week, like, yo, sometimes I can get frustrated a little bit because I feel like a lot of people be pulling on me at once, like a lot of people want me to be a lot of things for them at once, and it's easy to get frustrated at first, but then I have to remember, like, yo, people really don't be knowing how much work I'm doing. Because I don't run around talking about it. It
Right,
just do it. Yeah, and so I'm just like, is it even appropriate for me to like be snappy or something to somebody right now? Just to them, I'm just their daughter. Or to them, I'm just somebody who they need something from, whoever the case may be. And I'm just like, yo, they don't know that I just been up since 2:30 in the morning. They don't know, or they don't know I just had to file paperwork for trying to get a road permit for us to be able to walk on the road. You know what I mean? Like, they don't know. So it's like, and I can't expect people to take on a burden that, you know what I mean, they have no business bearing. Like, this is something I'm choosing to do. I'm choosing to do this type of work. I'm choosing to work this much. And this is like what keeps my cup full, for real. So it's just like, you know, I have to understand that. Or like just the instance of like, sometimes people, like somebody wanted me to sit, they wanted me to like wait on them for like 45 minutes while they did something else, and they just, you know, really just was like, you know, wait right here. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, I really don't have 45 minutes just to burn.
Right, you gotta be moving.
Yeah, I don't, at least this week, I have to be doing something. Like, I have a list of things to do, like, now, I could spend some quality time with you if we're going to do that, but just to just sit right here and wait, like, I don't know if I could do that. And it's like, you know, yesterday I had to explain, like, you know, all I had said was, yeah, like, oh, no, that won't work for me. But from their perspective, I was being just difficult. Like, I just didn't want to wait. They thought I was just being impatient. And I had to sit back, like, I guess from their perspective, I do just seem impatient. But from my perspective, there's 23 things I have to get done, and just sitting idle for 45 minutes.
Right, it's like kind of a waste of time.
It don't make sense for my life right now.
Right.
And it's like, I had to explain that to them last night, and they was like, well, I don't know, and I had no idea. And I had to remember, like, yeah, well, they really didn't have no idea. You know what I mean?
Sometimes, like, communication is always, you know,
That's
a powerful thing. Just let somebody know. Even though I get what you're saying in your mind, you're like, I can handle all this. So I don't really need to tell nobody, you know, what I'm doing. Hopefully they understand, or hopefully, you know, that it's just that miscommunication where, like, they should know I got something going on, and, you know, I know what they got going on. So,
Yeah,
you know,
but
just meet in the middle when it comes to it. But yeah, it just be hard sometimes, you know, because people's perspective. Everybody always look on the negative if you think about it. Like, they're like, they don't know what you're going through, so they're like, this person don't do nothing, or this person, you know, they're not working as hard, because in your mind you're like, I don't want to just be this ordinary employee that's living by the rules. I mean, yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do, you know, to get my paycheck and, you know, for the experience and everything. But at the same time, you know, like I got a life too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people here be like, oh, you can do this. I'm like, nah, I want to go to the gym, get fit.
Mm-hmm.
I got Bible study. I got this. People be wondering why I get to work so late. I be like, I'm tired. I can't tell them, you know, I had a long night. I was busy. I was partying. So it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to
Navigate.
navigate too. But so you got this 5K walk going on. I also noticed you got a business about Black Box Balms.
Yes,
Tell me
Black
about
Box
that.
Balms. Black Box Balms is a health and wellness company that I made primarily for women. Men actually have been great customers though.
I was about to say I can't get involved.
No, I mean, honestly, men have, there's men who really buy the tea, because it's, the tea, I design it with women in mind, but it's herbs, anybody could drink it. It's not, you know what I mean, there's nothing will happen to a man who drinks it, it's just herbs. I just market to women, but
Can you smoke it?
no, it's not smokable herbs, it's all tea, you can steep it, but I have a new tea coming out. I want to release a new tea next month. It's a peppermint tea. It's a peppermint chamomile tea. My friend Kufir actually, he tried it out for me over the summer. He really liked it. I also am thinking of dropping a tea to help with anxiety.
Oh, nice.
I didn't realize how many people deal with anxiety.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like
Yeah,
people had anxiety before it was a name. So.
yeah, and I guess I didn't realize how much of an issue it was until like I see so much of it on the internet, like people on social anxiety and all sorts of anxiety and seasonal depression, and I'm like, there's a tea for that. You know what I mean? There's a so I have a herbal tea that I really would like to release that like goes towards, you know, helping alleviate the feelings of anxiety. And I like to say it that way because I don't want people to say like my anxiety or your anxiety, because I don't want you to claim that. Like, it's not your anxiety. You just experience anxious feelings. And there's a way to help balance your body out that might help make that better. But it's not yours. You don't have to claim that over your life. You don't have to be an anxious person forever.
You put a title on something, it's
You
gonna stick
naming
with
it,
you.
yeah. And it's like you don't have to. And I feel like God put us on this earth. I truly believe God put us on this earth with everything you would need. Everything you would need is here. And it's like, I don't know how many people are big on science, but I'm like a real science nerd. And there's a law that's like, nothing can be created or destroyed. It's like a law. And it's true. Like, and I feel like when you really look around, and this is like veering off a little bit, but when you really look around, like nothing can be created or destroyed. Everything you could possibly need was already created. I can mix some tea up, but I didn't create anything. You know what I mean? I just paired up what God already put here. And I'm just putting it, you know, God has given me the wisdom to pair up the right herbs to give to you, but like God is the creator. God is the ultimate creator. So
It's like it's the ecosystem. Like He's first, and then us, and then we create whatever's on this earth.
whatever's on the earth, but everything that's here can't be destroyed. Even if you try, you can't even destroy yourself because you don't have that type of dominion. Like, even when we die, it's ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You just turn into something different. Your body just goes into a different form, but it's not destroyed. It's just transition to something else. Nothing here can be created or destroyed. You didn't create yourself, and you can't destroy
Definitely
yourself.
Can't destroy yourself, no matter how hard you try.
No matter how hard you try, you can't be God.
Amen. So going back to Black Box Balms, how long have you had it as a business?
Black Box Balms is going on, I think 2 years old in June. I started it in the heat of the pandemic. I was like just coming off my season of not having a job for all that time.
Right.
And I started a job,
So
and
you
then,
had to be healthy.
but it's so funny because just as soon as I started this job, I was fired from it because of the pandemic.
Right.
And so then I was like, you know what, I've been having an idea to do this tea company I've been having an idea to do Black Box Balms since 2017, but my idea for it was completely different. And then over the last 5 years, I told you I've been just consistent with the health and wellness thing, and I really see how much I really love food and I love herbs. So I'm like, yo, I can use this same business name that I had, but I can put this health and wellness concept in it that I have grown to love and care about. So, yeah, Black Box Balms was born in the heat of the pandemic, and right now I have about three or four teas and then one golden milk. I have 3 teas. Oh, I didn't release those ones yet. I'm sorry. I have 1 tea in 2 different ways, and then a golden milk that people can buy. And golden milk is usually just for your bones and your joints, and it's a turmeric blend, and that's sweet. It's pretty good. It's like golden hot cocoa.
There's some fire.
Yeah, golden milk is really good.
Golden milk.
So that's Black Box Balms came about in the pandemic, and I'm really glad I just one-handed went with the idea, because I was so afraid just to do it. And now I'm coming up with my first big event.
Right.
Under
So
the
that's,
company.
so that's, yeah, I would say that's the first major event for
Yeah, Black
the
Box
company.
Balms. Yeah.
Nice. So what's your mission for your business? Like, what do you want the end goal to be, as far as like where you want it to go, what's next for it, and stuff that you're creating?
Speak some stuff into existence here.
Right.
You know what's so funny?
Manifest.
Yeah, let's manifest. There used to be this saying that I picked up in grad school. I wish I could remember who said it so I could give them credit, but there's like, I want to say his name was Stephen Broyles. He was a professor, and he said, your business model should be, your business mission and model should be to go out of business. And what he meant by that is like, you should be so good at servicing your community that they don't need your service anymore. And so my goal is to service my community so well, and teach people how to take care of themselves so well that eventually, you know what I mean, I don't have to work so much. I don't really want to go out of business. But I just want, a consistent work, a consistent number of orders for now, but eventually I do want a tea house. I want, like, how there's like coffee houses and Starbucks? I want a tea house.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've been wanting a tea house for a long time, and it's like, I would love having a building where people can come in, have a cup of tea, and a very nice, like, I have the idea of how it will look and everything. Having a tea house, and even maybe like, in the future, building off little back spaces for maybe if people want to host yoga classes or whatever case may be. But primarily, I want a tea house and hire a great staff, hire a great managing team, and allow people to operate the space so that I don't have to be there all the time. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? It's my brand, it's my company, and I manage it. But I am growing out of the mind frame that I realized I was changing this summer, and I am growing out of this mind frame of like just having to have hands on everything. Sometimes when you're a doer and when you're like a hustler, you want to have your hands in every pot just to make sure shit get done like to your liking and how you want it. And I get it, but I'm getting to the point where like one of my strengths is communication, and I need to use that. I can explain to somebody what I want and what I want to see. So I feel like I can like delegate work. I can tell somebody like, yo, you're the manager of this shop. This, and this is like bottom line. This is what needs to get done. And I'm confident enough in my direction that if they want to put their own little spin on how they be a manager, that's fine.
Right.
But I'm able to communicate my bottom lines. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. That's great.
As long
But
as it's for the guidelines,
this-
for the job description, yeah.
this is what needs to get done at this tea house. And then you be your own person. And I feel like just my experience in working, a lot of time there's miscommunication from the top down. And I feel like that's one of my, if I don't know nothing else, I know how to tell somebody what to do. That I do. And it's like, that is, and I notice it even sometimes when I'm training, I'm like, I can explain what I'm trying to say, and it's like, it's a strength, and I need to use the strength in however many ways that I can. And so that's one thing, you know, of course, there's always gonna be lapses in communication because there is, but I feel like I'm able to adapt and adjust when I make mistakes, and I can clearly communicate what I want, and I really, really wanna max out on that. So that I'm not working down to the bone, bare bone my whole life. I wanna do work that matters.
Right.
That's what I wanna do. If I'm gonna be waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I want it to be something that my grandkids can enjoy when I'm gone. Or I want it to be something that I'm happy with if I don't have children. I want it to be something that I'm happy with when I pass, or something that I'm happy working on until I pass. Even if I don't get to see it come to fruition. I just feel like there has to be intention behind some of this stuff. Sometimes it's just like we just be like wanderers of the earth. Like there's no intention behind a movement, and it's hard for me to move like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's just, I
Yeah,
can't.
because it's just like, even like I'm the same way. Like I'm like, I got to get something, something done, or try to do something for my legacy or my future legacy, or something for, like you said, like future children or grandchildren. Just making sure they're good or your family's good. Just so like they can continue and build on in the future. So, I mean, I commend you on that. And going back to what you said about you're good at telling people kind of what to do. Like I felt that just because like just doing the trainings at the Kingsley Center and working out, like you definitely have a way of direction. Giving people their good directions on how to follow through what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. So yeah, I feel like that's a great skill for you, communication in that aspect, and just directing people to when they're out of direction, how to get back into the movement and motion.
Thank you.
Yep. So we've been talking about health and dietary and workouts. So would you say like you have a healthy lifestyle and training?
Yeah,
Or
I
is
would
there
say.
some things would you say like you still got to work on, or would you say overall?
Well, you always got to work on things, but it's so funny because I was just having a conversation with one of my friends, Mr. Marshall.
Marshall.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was telling him about a fast that I did over the summer, and he was like, "You risked your health." He thinks that I don't have a healthy lifestyle. So I've been vegan. I'll be 5 years old, vegan November 1st.
Nice.
And you learn a lot along the way. Everybody who's vegan is not healthy. I just want to put that out there. Just because you're eating vegan does not mean you're healthy. There's a lot of aspects of health, and I feel like health is like a balancing beam. So it's always, and it's constantly rocking back and forth. There's always more to learn. There's no just like, oh, I'm just here. There's levels, you maintain it. It's a level, you maintain it. You might have a baby. The level, you maintain it. You might get married or in a relationship. There's levels, you maintain it. It's just constantly fluctuating. So I would say that I lead a healthy lifestyle. I fast pretty often. I did my most extensive fast this summer, which was a good experience in my eyes. I learned a lot.
So as a vegan, like what's some good foods would you say to eat throughout the day?
I say for breakfast, either go no breakfast or go fruit, like 100% fruit juice, or like I like blueberries, bananas, limes. In the morning, Honeycrisp apples. I really like fruit in the morning. And then in the afternoon, I like vegetables. So I love salads. I love arugula. I love kale. I love finely chopped kale, to be specific. Just like a heartier salad. And then in the evenings, I would say probably nuts. And like I even think porridge and oatmeal and stuff is really an evening meal. But that's kind of what I think is like cool. When I think that you can do your snacks and your granola and stuff throughout the day, but sometimes I feel like eating a super heavy breakfast might not make you super duper productive throughout the day.
Right. If you have a heavy breakfast, I notice it kind of like slow you down a little
Yeah.
bit, or lazy, just want to go to sleep.
Lay down.
There's times where I eat my lunch, and if it's like a big lunch, I don't want to do nothing. Take that. I eat
Yeah.
lunch a day.
And I say really eat according to your body. Like, I'm even thinking right before I was vegan, I was like a big chicken person. And, but before that, when I was like young, like a kid, I never really cared for pork and I never really cared for beef. It used to just, in my mind, it was like, this shit take too long to chew for the beef. And then when I used to eat the bacon, I noticed when I was like around 5, I used to be like, every time we have bacon for breakfast, I get headaches, like my head hurt. And so I stopped eating pork and beef pretty early. Whenever my people would do McDonald's and stuff, I would do that, but we didn't really eat that stuff. My mom cooked, but yeah. So for me, by the time I was like, I guess I went vegan 5 years ago, but when I got to like my mid-20s, I think, and I start like not wanting chicken is when I knew I was changing, because I'm like, no, if it ain't nothing, I like chicken. You know what I mean? I really love chicken. I would get chicken every single day after
You
school.
can't go wrong with all different
Exactly.
types of chicken.
Exactly. And so when I stopped wanting it, I knew something was changing. So I say, if anything, my recommendation to answer the question, my recommendation would be to listen to your body. Like, even though in my mind I knew that I like chicken, my body was telling me to stop. And so I was just like, I'll just go with the flow. And I'll kind of check it out to see, and I just explored that feeling. I just explored that feeling of like, yeah, why you don't want chicken? And then one thing led to another, and then, going vegan for me was not even intentional. It was just exploration. I just kind of stumbled upon it. I just was trying different stuff, and then I realized like, oh, your body feels great here. Like, you feel good here. And so I just stuck with it, but yeah.
Well, so I guess you kind of answered my question. I would say, like, what advice would you give somebody trying to get in shape or going vegan?
I would say take it one step at a time. Super quick story. When I very first started, like, I always would kind of like, my weight would go up and down. So I knew how to lose weight through cardio. Like, hurry up and just go to the gym for 5 a.m. for the next month and you can lose 20 pounds or whatever the case may be. But I would say to anybody looking for sustainable, either just maintaining a healthy weight or eating healthier, I would say really take it one step at a time. And really think about things that make sense, and don't try to mimic anybody else's journey. Like,
right, because I feel like that's when you kind of fall off, is when you're trying to be just like somebody else.
Yeah.
And like
that ain't
you
me.
don't have that quality, and like if that, like you said, if that's not you, then
It's not
why
you.
even do it?
Yeah, I say do what best suits, and explore. I'll say explore. And you know what? I also want to say something really simple that I learned early on in my health journey that really stuck with me all throughout. If you're trying to go vegan, just call foods what it is. Like, if you're eating a piece of tofu, maybe just call it tofu. Don't call, maybe your brain doesn't like when you call tofu chicken, and then you eat the piece of tofu and your brain is like, well, this is not chicken, and then you think you don't like it. But it's like, if you just would have called shit what it is,
Exactly.
your brain would have been like, yeah. But all of those substitutes and all of that processed vegan food, that stuff is like the junk food of the vegan world. Maybe eat it on the weekends or eat it every once in a while, but if you're literally trying to substitute all your chicken intake with some type of tofu chicken or something like that, you're probably going to think being vegan isn't for you, when really just all that processed stuff isn't for you.
Right.
Like, just explore all the other foods there is. Like, my eyes have been open to what abundance is. I went on a 30-day fast this summer, and while I was on it, I'm like, I went to the store one particular time and I seen like a pile of avocados, and I just was thinking like, yeah, we are surrounded by, and we eat so much food that we really might not need. Like, so much. Like, I was thinking like, I'm in Walmart now and there's like 10,000 avocados, or probably like 4,000, 3,000 avocados. I was exaggerating with the 10,000, but there was like 2,000 avocados sitting in a barrel. Across the street is another grocery store. Down the street is another grocery store. 2 miles up the road is another grocery store. I'm just like, we're surrounded by abundance. it's just hard to see when it's like you're kind of used to it.
Right.
But when I was in the point in time where I wasn't eating. So it's like I'm seeing stuff from a lens of like, whoa, this is a lot. Like we're doing a lot here. Like we have a lot, and yeah. So I don't want to go on and on and on, but we live with so much. We just got to see it. You just got to open your eyes to see, like, yo, you're surrounded by resources, just on a life level. You're surrounded by resources. You're surrounded by help. You're surrounded by money. You're surrounded by people who maybe your tribe and maybe can support you. You just got to find a way to tap into it.
All right. Now for my fun question.
Oh, Lord.
If you had an opportunity to be any celebrity's personal trainer, who would it be and why?
Any celebrity's personal trainer?
Yep.
You know what's funny? I think that I probably would have fun training somebody like Drake or somebody like Beyonce, because I feel like they will work. I feel like they will really be like working.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Drake all sweating, Beyonce singing while she's working out. She don't need no headphones.
yeah, but I think the first person who popped in my mind was Beyonce.
Beyonce.
Yeah, I was just like, I probably would have fun being a trainer.
Right, that check would be nice too.
Man.
Well here.
Yep, we would work out in Ivy Park gear. I would throw it on.
But Beyonce, she seemed like a fun person just in general. So like, I can imagine that she just be cracking jokes and laughing and probably doing the exercise wrong.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun, and I think overall, I think it would be productive.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would just be productive sessions.
So what would you have Beyonce do? What do you think she need to work on?
We could do the stairs. I'm sitting her ass wherever I send everybody else. Come on.
Start off with the stairs, Beyonce.
Come on, babe. We're going to
To
the
the
steps.
left. Okay. That's a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I try somebody who's real fat.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd be like, come on. I'm trying to think.
Don't call nobody out.
I ain't gonna call this out. It's like, nah, let me stop. But, nah.
Shout out to my
Big is beautiful. Big and skinny, don't matter what you are. As long as you made in God's image, you beautiful.
Nice cleanup on our 8.
Alright, we're gonna play one more game. It's called This or That Food Edition.
Oh, I'm ready.
So I'm gonna give you some options of foods, and since you're vegan, we got the vegan edition.
Oh,
So
very thoughtful.
something different.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the first one, nuts or plums?
Oh, nuts.
Nuts. Fruit or veggies? That's a tough one. Fruit.
Oh, veggies. Not fruit.
Veggies.
Fruit.
I mean, fruit's more sweet. It's like
I know, but my body be feeling so. Vegetables, I realize,
veggies
like
is
grounding.
kinda like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's like eating meat.
it's good. Yes,
Because it's like a meal.
it's
You make
hearty.
meals out of veggies.
Man,
So you're going with veggies, final answer? But fruit, yeah.
fruit's so good.
It's like a snack. And you can, there's
I got it.
some meals you can make with fruit. I don't really know too many, but
Man, I love fruit, but if I have to, like, if I only could eat one thing for the day, I would make like a vegetable. I would have to do with the salad. Yeah,
okay. All right, fish or vegan burger?
I would have to do the vegan burger. I don't eat fish.
You want to eat fish?
Mm-hmm.
I thought y'all would eat like some type of sauce of fish or something.
No, I mean I don't.
All right, so no fish. Pasta or rice? She got to think about this one.
See, there's this type of pasta that I be eating that's really brown rice flour. But if I had to pick pasta.
Pasta?
Damn, that was a hard question.
Getting tougher. Bread or soy milk?
Bread.
Bread. Yeah, I see you always eating your bread, so I'm like, she probably gonna pick bread. Alright, last one. Alright, these ones both sound fire, and I don't even eat neither of them, but I might try it because when I was looking it up, I was like, yeah, this sounds vegan mac or kale avocado burrito bowl.
Kale avocado burrito bowl.
Yeah, when I was typing it, I was like, I'm gonna have to try that.
Kale avocado burrito bowl sounds flame.
Fire, yeah.
Yeah.
I might have to try kale. I like kale and avocados.
Oh
and
my
all in a bowl. I wonder if you ever tried. I forgot the name of it, but it's like right on Liberty Avenue where the Dairy Queen and Five Guys is. They got like a salad.
This is okay, so fresh or something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
I ain't never tried it, but somebody told me they're good.
Yeah, it's real good. I tried it for the first time. I got like boiled eggs and a salad with avocado. I had kale. I think it was like turkey bacon or something like that. All different. It was like just a whole bunch of stuff in a salad. I'm like, damn, this is better than Subway. I need the fresh air.
Yeah, I love Hello Bistro. Shout out to Hello Bistro because I
haven't
love
had
Hello.
that in a while.
Oh my goodness, it's good. I love their salads. It's so fresh. And and shout out to this little cracker company called Bismarck. I think they're called Bismarck, but that meant when you said bread, I'm like, I don't eat a whole lot of bread, but I eat a whole lot of crackers. Yeah. So.
Okay. I think that's all the questions we have for today.
All right. Well,
Thank you so much, Blaire, for being on the show, podcast, interview. Do it all. GMNTV.
thank you for inviting me. Shout out to World and Vision. They're two black guys. That's the shirt I'm wearing. It just says Trust Your Vision.
Trust your vision.
Yeah, they're two guys from New Orleans, and I notice every time, like, I got an event coming up, like how I got the 5K coming up, I find myself buying their clothes more, just to kind of reassure myself, like, yo. And so they're two young black guys from New Orleans, and I've been supporting their clothing line for a couple years now. This is not like I'm not endorsed or nothing like that, but just to anybody who's like, you just need a reminder, like, yeah, just
I have
remember.
Trust a shirt for you to wear.
Yeah. Hey, give me one. I'll wear it. Positive vibes. It helps out. So thank you all for listening. I appreciate everybody who views. I appreciate everybody who tunes in. I appreciate you having me. Hopefully I see you in class. He be cutting up in class. He got on here and act like he don't be cutting up, but he
I
does.
gotta make it entertaining. She be having me work out like I'm something. I be like, dang, Blaire, you work out like this? You work out like a grown man bodybuilder. Having me about to fall out. Pass out. Even the older ladies, you be getting that. I be like, damn, y'all flexible.
Yeah, my ladies are in shape.
Right.
My ladies, so shout out to the Kingsley Association. Shout out to my clients who are up at CA Fitness, Chris Anthony Fitness in Point Breeze. I appreciate everybody who comes and does anything with me because that really fills my cup and I appreciate engaging with the community in that way. And I hope to see you all this Sunday at the Rose Run.
The 5K. Now, if they want to sign up or if they want to find like where to follow you or find you, just to see if you had any training workouts or any classes or anything going on, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Black Box Balms. So BlackBoxBalms. Or you can follow my personal Instagram if you're looking more probably for the entertaining stuff like music and plants at MSBLAREC, Miss Blaire C.
Okay, well, you heard it here. Make sure you follow Miss Blaire, and come work out if you are in the Pittsburgh area and looking to find more people to work out with. And as always, you can find me on Instagram at RezyReek, REZY_REIK, Facebook The Reek Experience, Instagram GMNTV Global Mass Network. Music's out on all platforms: Grove Free Master, Heavy Mental. The jack of all trades, I do it all. Come fuck with me. Come message me, and I think that's all for today. So thank you, Blaire, for having you. It was great. We'll see y'all next time on the next interview. You're out.
All right, bye.
Everything, I do this for me, everything. Yeah, I do this for me on everything. I do this for us and God we trust. Gotta keep my crew strong. We collective, never stressing on the thing I couldn't control. Keep it super duper like a champion. championship or a Super Bowl, but really I'm just a rare breed. Can you feel me? Grew up in PA, went to college up in Philly, challenging my surroundings, but when you lost me, really hard to find me. I keep my past behind me, so my future always brighter than the stars in the city. I'm so litty.